Welcome back. It's Nerd Thug Radio. This is halfway through the show, and this week, Corey DLG, we're doing the weekly top 3. We didn't do it last week. We had a lot of fun.
A lot of stuff happening.
A lot of stuff happened at Extra Life at Space Cadets Gaming, located in Robinson Road in Oak Ridge. So we shied away from the top 3 because we had too much stuff going on. But this week, we're getting back into it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what that means.
All right.
Boom, 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 boom.
Wait, you just demoed something else entirely. This is what you're giving me? Okay.
Boom. Boom, 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 boom.
All right, here we go.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, no, it's the medicine head flow.
Boom, boom,
coming at you now, going on crazy go. So here we go, drinking up my water, taking my medicine, trying to get through this fodder. We got all day. No, we don't. We're on a timer. We got to get this show out before tomorrow. So it's Corey and Joey DLG. Mix yourself, see what I see. I'm all crazy on this medicine, please. So now we are here, top 3. It's things we didn't get into as kids. Nerd things we missed, but now we're doing them now. And I'm out of this world.
Savage. Boom. All right, so as you all heard there in that extravagant rap there.
Extravagant, I like it. I like that word.
So we're struggling this week to figure out weekly top 3. It's been busy weeks at Nerd Thug Radio headquarters. And so literally at like 2 o'clock today, I said, hey, got any ideas, buddy?
Nope.
And usually Corey's like, well, usually your response is, what's coming out this week? What's going on?
Right.
And then
So
I can play off of that. His response this week, nope. I said, okay. So then I really had to dig down deep. And then I saw something. And I was like, you know what? That was something I never got into. I was like, okay, let's do it with the top 3 on typical nerd stuff that we just never got into. Like it just never was us.
I like that.
So that's how we're rolling this week. So the worst of us gets to go first as usual. So Hipster Padawan, do you have anything to contribute to this conversation?
Just that
No.
you keep referring to me as the worst, and I love you, Joey, but this verbal abuse cannot continue.
Moving on. Corey, you're number 3.
Yeah, what happened? What are you getting an advocate over there? What's happening?
No, actually,
Get a
it's
lawyer.
Overwatch.
Get a lawyer.
Overwatch?
Yeah, I
can agree with you on that. It's not my top 3, but yeah, that's...
Yeah, like I got it recently this summer, but I've just have not yet gone and played it very much yet.
And there's
got
like
really into it.
There's like a diehard community for Overwatch too. Like,
I mean, as soon as it came out, within 3 months of it being out, we're at a con and we saw tons of people cosplaying already as Overwatch characters.
well, in Blizzard, Blizzard's a big deal.
They are.
They've only made big hits.
Yeah,
they
Hershey's, Butterfinger, Reese's,
no, those,
M&M,
no, those
Oreo's
are,
my
those
favorite.
are Blizzards.
Oh, what'd you
This
say?
is Blizzard, the company.
Oh,
Yeah,
then we're talking
World
ice
of
cream.
Warcraft, StarCraft, Warcraft.
All that good.
What's
jargon.
the other one? There's one other game I'm thinking of.
I don't know.
Diablo.
Yeah, Diablo.
But I've
And
never been a first-person shooter, so...
Well, those were all real-time strategy games.
Well, I mean, like,
until
Overwatch.
yeah, and so World of Warcraft was like a massive online role-playing game.
Yeah, I know World of Warcraft. I know that. I know
And
WoW.
so when they announced this game, and essentially they said, we're going to make an online competitive character-driven online shooting competitive game.
Yeah, because like there hasn't been really a good one of those since Team Fortress 2, and that came out
Never heard
10
of it.
years ago.
But that wasn't really character-driven necessarily. The skins and all that was a big deal, but they weren't like, each character didn't have like...
So moveset.
Yeah. Go look and see some of the commercial promos for the game, and it's literally meet the pyro, meet the the heavy.
You're right. They
meet
had
the
like
scout.
Meet the blob.
classes, but like it wasn't necessarily like this is beyond classes. There's 30 characters, and each one of them has a different.
Did they just release a new one?
They do. They regularly do every few months, and then they release some more designs, and so like
I'm gonna show you some videos after this. You're wrong.
No, I know they had classes, but this is more even within the classes of like tanker and healer. They have different play styles. They have a sniper who can heal you. They have an angel who just throws all healing out.
And see that shows the extent of how much I know Overwatch.
Yeah.
So you're wrong.
So they really made this more about each character individually than about classes. Whereas you're talking about in Fortress 2, they had classes. They had
and like the classes had personalities, and
right?
stuff,
but
you're talking about on a mechanical level.
Yeah, literally even within a class, each of those characters plays differently. The different tanks, yes, they're all big hit tanks that can take a bunch of damage, but they each do different things and have different abilities and attacks.
Yeah, I totally main diva.
Yeah, that's the only one I can do is the giant robot, the girl driving the robot. She's got 2 machine guns. I just sit there and just shoot everybody.
Because like whenever you die, you hop out, and all you need to do is stay alive for until
Just
you're
long enough until
just
your
get
robot
the
comes back.
again.
Yeah, that's me. That's exactly what I do.
All right, DLG, what's your number 3?
So my number 3 is just kind of a more general thing.
Okay.
Cars.
Yeah.
I never really got into cars.
Is that really a nerdy thing, though?
I feel like guys nerd out about cars.
Well, they nerd out, but I mean, granted, I'm going to agree with you. Cars were never my thing. But
right.
I wouldn't necessarily classify it as in the nerd culture, but you're right. Guys who are into cars nerd out about cars. That's all they care about.
They get the magazines.
It's the thing, like, okay, I'm into wrestling. I'm into a bunch of different stuff.
Right.
There is not one specific thing. That's what I'm into. Dudes that are into cars.
They're car guys.
That's their life. That's it. That's all they do. Cars.
But, and
it gets me, I mean, they look cool. They get me from point A to point B, but.
Right. And don't get me wrong, there's so much variety within that field that you can be.
Right.
You can be car guy A and car guy B can be totally in different things.
Different classes of cars.
Right. But it just was one of those things, like growing up, it just, even though it was mechanical, which really intrigues me, and even though it was.
Your dad was never into cars.
Right. And it was just one of those things, honestly,
I don't know what my dad was into, so.
That's fair. We didn't have a lot of money either, so cars is kind of, even when you're poor, cars are an expensive hobby to get into.
Yeah, they are.
Like,
no, they are.
You know,
we have friends who have been into cars.
And they put a lot of money in them, man. They put a lot of money in them. Yeah, and so one of my buddies growing up, we didn't have any. We all grew up fairly low income, and every dollar he made, he put into his car. Well, when he wrecked that car,
life was over.
We're talking about $8,000 an aftermarket product he had in that thing, and you don't get that back.
No, that's the other thing about cars, because just going through the process of the flood, Harvey, my ex-father-in-law, huge car guy,
right,
and even when you resell cars and stuff, you're not, when you start telling people, hey, I've got $12,000 in this car, so I want 15 out of it. Like, no.
This is what it's worth.
It's only worth this. Same thing. Like, it doesn't matter like how much you put into it. Like, what is it worth?
Right.
Especially if it's not original stuff. Now, when it's all original, it's a different story. But when you go after market, people don't care.
And then you start talking about, it's for performance and air intakes and blah blah blah. But
when he starts talking to me about car stuff, my ex-father-in-law, I was like, this is my approach. Because he'll talk to you like about cars, like exactly what he's talking about.
Right, and that's the thing. You don't, right?
And I'm just like, so this is my response. Oh yeah, that's cool.
I do that.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I do that.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I just repeat myself. Like, I just go into repeat mode and I have no idea what he's saying.
But like up the intensity?
Yeah, I have no idea what he's saying.
So I had a lot of friends who were into cars, and obviously Austin we've had on the show now.
Drag racer.
Right. So, and then another buddy of mine, Johnny, also in front of the show, and Henry was big into cars too. Chadwick, So growing up, these guys are all car guys.
Yeah.
I was the one.
You were the one that wasn't.
I was the one. Like, we would get together.
I was never building car models.
No, man.
I didn't want car toys. Like,
remember in the apartment, Henry had all those car models and all that? And then he started dating Crystal, and so the kids came by, and they're picking up the cars, and I'm watching him. I'm like, there's no way he's cool with that.
Yeah,
there's no way he's cool with that.
He's about to lose his mind.
And he's just kind of very calmly, we're going to leave that right there.
Right there, don't touch it.
We're just going to put that right there. But yeah, I mean, like.
Cars. I agree with you. The only reason it's probably on my list is because I don't consider it like nerd.
Right. No, and it's not really nerdy until you start seeing how hard
these guys get into
that subculture becomes.
Right. So my number 3, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, is World of Warcraft.
Okay.
I would say probably the biggest nerdy online game there is.
Oh, for sure.
Without a doubt.
For sure.
Never into it. Never. And what's so crazy about World of Warcraft, you can't pick out a person out of a lineup that's into that
Who plays?
stuff.
Yeah, everyone plays it.
Everyone does. I remember this chick that came to work with me several years ago. She walks in, early 40s, like, doesn't really, very kind of country-ish, not backwoods, but, very bland.
Right.
And like the second day, I was like, trying to like be friends, and hey, we're sitting next to each other, so we're gonna have to like work together.
Did I work with her at the front counter?
Yeah. And so her name's Lori. I don't know. Her name's Lori. And so what are you into? I love World of Warcraft.
Yes.
When I get off of work, that's all I do. I was like, what? Are you serious? Like,
and she's a country girl.
Yeah,
so
but I mean,
well, remember they had that great ad campaign for a minute where like Mr. T and
yeah, I mean they
had different like
they lived it
famous
up,
people were in the game as characters.
Right, and so like I think they're done, right? That Panda Bear one was the last expansion.
No. They just
they actually
more.
Recently, they just announced that they're going to start doing vanilla servers.
I have no idea what that is.
So things have gotten so big and complex now. They're going to go back to kind of the original moment where it was like Orcs versus Alliance,
like what it was at launch without any of the expansions,
which is crazy. Like
they've probably done at this point probably 30, 40 expansions.
Even our good friend, our good friend, Brian
At
Lumen.
least 5, possibly 6.
He's in the Nerd That Clicks Federation.
Oh, I'm talking about like even the little expansions.
I have no clue.
He's
Yeah.
all into WoW too.
Yo, he is.
Every day's like, hey man, come over drink. I mean, I'm gonna WoW it up tonight.
Right, and like when they release new stuff, and like so originally when they started the game, I think your character could max out at level 50, and now it's all the way up to 100 or 85 or something like that. And I mean,
they spend a lot of time.
They do, and you know, to their credit, have fun, do what you do.
I don't care. It
was never something.
I don't think I ever had enough time to devote to that. So it's probably why it seems like one of those games where like if you want to be really good at it, especially with all these like Clash of Clans and all that kind of stuff, like
you gotta spend time.
You've got to spend time, and I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
I don't want to. Colt, you want to throw your number 2 in here real quick? We got a few minutes left. It's probably gonna be that good, anyways.
I'm probably going to lose my nerd cred, and I am the worst, but
Brain
it's comic books.
Okay, I mean, you don't have to be a nerd and like comic books.
Okay, because here's the thing. I've grown up.
You can't read, honestly.
Yeah,
right.
No, I can't. Yeah,
Letters
I can't
are hard.
read.
I understand.
That's why I went into a vocal role. But so like, I played HeroClix. I've grown up and seen all the movies. I do have a solid working knowledge of comic books, of the comic book stuff. But as far as collectively getting the books and reading them, it's just something I never really got into.
Well, I have a guy that I know, and his friends go to him, like he's the comic book expert among his friends, and they're always like, "Where can I start?" And he's always like, "Yeah, that's kind of the hard thing,
right?
Like, anywhere you start, there's going to be stuff coming in that you'll then have to, what is that about?" And then you'll go backwards and forward at the same time, which is true. It is
nowadays. Like you could be into comics, let's say the 70s, 80s, even early 90s, and you could be okay, and you could get the gist of what was going on. But nowadays, it's very difficult, and we're going to take a break real quick. And when we come back, I'm going to touch a little bit more on Colt's comic book theory here.
I like it.
Listening to Nerd Slug Radio.
# talking nerdy to you.